Hello everyone, this is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. So, last time I got things roughly the way that I think I want them, and I think this is pretty good. I still might adjust the shapes of her ears, but when I look at my proportions and stuff, this arm might be a little bit long, but besides that, I think that it all looks pretty okay. Oh, and I do think her feet might be a little bit big. And I think everything else looks pretty okay. So I'm just gonna fix those couple of issues and jump right into everything. Right into rendering. And we will finalize all of this right here. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it in one session. I'm a little bit slow. And I'm probably gonna be a little bit extra slow today because I am a little bit sleepy. I slept fine. I've just been studying very hard this morning. It's like, it was a weekend, and the kids are off to go see Grandpa. So I had some time to just sit down and do stuff this morning. So I did, and now my brain hurts. It's okay. It's a good hurt. It is filled with many new things that I hope to be able to do many new things and make better things, and I overdid that. Let's go back. Anyway, but yes, I am hoping I will be able to make nicer things and more quickly. Very important for my current art goals. That's why I can never shut up about it. Because it is on my mind, like, all the time. And I do, perhaps, drive myself slightly insane thinking about things, because, I mean, there's things I want to do. I just don't have the skills yet. So I think about the things, and I do not yet have the proper outlet to do them, and I'm just, like, internal screaming. Okay, I'm getting there. I am. Yeah, just gotta get good, but unfortunately getting good is a slow process. I hate it, but it's okay. I'll deal. Anyway, now that I've looked at things again, I'm just like, oh, hey, look, more problems. Let's fix them. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just gonna keep poking at things and fixing the issues until I'm happy. It's okay. I do think it looks pretty good. Just gotta get things about there. I think that's fine. Oh yeah, and I was gonna go off into the hair. I just noticed that I have both layers on. So I'm gonna compare my slightly farther apart and thinner ones versus the ones that are a little bit closer together. I think in most circumstances I would have picked this one, but I do think that this one has a bit more dog ear energy. So I will go with that one. I'm glad I kept them both though. Okay. Before I finish off the rendering here, I actually think that it all looks pretty okay. I'm glad I stepped away from it for a little bit before deciding whether or not this was fine. Because I don't know. I think it's fine. I don't think her head looks especially poofy or anything, so let me just compare the size of her head to like her shoulders and stuff. Let me check something on the code here. Yeah, we got a little bit of coat related shenanigans here. I gotta pull the armpit back a bit here. There we go. So I'm just looking at the length of her arm there and making sure that I am happy with that. I think her hand might be a little bit too big, but I mean, I'm probably going to delete that entire hand when I actually draw it anyway, so I don't care. I'm not going to worry about it. But, nah, I think her head seems fine. At most, I think her eyes still might be a little bit far to the right. But not much. I mean, you can see I barely moved them. Okay. She looks so cross-eyed in this sketch, but it's fine. It's just because right now she has like 2 lower lids because of how I sketched it. Not really important for now. Okay. So, goal number 2. I would like to get the little bits of hair sticking out looking a little bit more like Koromaru's ears here. And because right now I think they look a bit cat ear-like. The biggest thing, how do I describe the nature of these ears versus a cat ear? To be fair, these kinds of ears are vaguely cat-like too, but I do feel like they're a bit taller and thinner. That was the main thing. So maybe all I really need to do... Let's do some science before I fully render this. Can I get the kind of energy that I want here? Can we go around like that? Looks a little silly. Okay, can't quite get away with that strong a one. I do want the hair to look like it's more draping down. And that is kind of important. But I could probably keep a little bit of fanning out here. Just a little bit. So I'm gonna try to find that perfect balance. Okay, I think that should be fine. And now we can just do some very sleepy rendering. It's okay, rendering is the perfect thing for when you're just kind of sleepy and a little bit brain dead. It'll be great. I don't have to worry about things. I'm gonna kill the eyebrows for now. Okay. And I will put some shadows on the rest of the hair here. I do not think that they will be changing that much. Does it look like 100%? I wanted to give it another look because I did make everything a little bit larger at the end there, and such things can make things look a little bit blurry, but I don't think it looks that blurry, so I think I can go right in to getting the final form of this hair. So I'm just gonna go right in, man. And I'm just gonna get it. I've been learning a lot about various bits of art theory, and honestly, while doing it, it's been kind of refreshing just to see how much I already know. And for the parts, and for certain parts, I didn't necessarily have like words for it or anything, but I'm quickly realizing just how many things I have built up through derping around without necessarily being consciously aware of it. but still, it's good to have that knowledge in my conscious instead of my subconscious mind, because then I can more actively use these things. And a lot of it has to do with what kind of artist I am. That's something I've been thinking about a lot. Because I'm basically trying to shore up some of my weaknesses so that hopefully I can draw a little bit faster. And I have been trying very hard to articulate exactly what I think my problem is. And why I end up drawing slower than I would like. Here, I'm gonna go bring the negative face back. Okay. Just so I can see a little bit more clearly. And I actually have an answer. Oh. Very, very special. But, my answer to that is I am very intuitive about most everything I do. I think part of the reason that it takes me a while to learn things is because I have to assimilate a whole ton of information first. I have to get to the point where there is just something in my brain that just gets it. And until then, everything is very slow. It's slow going. Because I have to gather each piece of information, think about it every time, and it gets messy. It's slow, and I get impatient. And I gotta get this cute little curl, like, just right here. Very important. I'm not gonna mess around. But yeah, I need to assimilate a bunch of information first. Ah, hello there, chair. Welcome. And then once I do, I kinda start figuring things out, and it's very cool. I am gonna get rid of her eyes for a second here, so that this way I can see what I'm doing. I just want to get the angle of this hair expressed very well. And with the way her head is tilted, I think we see a lot of the side of this hair. So I'm trying to very clearly differentiate it. Oh, thank you very much. I like my avatar too. I put in all the things I like. Just very shiny hair and lots of muted colors matched by very bright colors. I got the bright colors in the hair and the bright colors in the eyes, and all the rest pretty muted. I do love me some color contrast. It's very pretty. I try to remember what I was talking about before. Just the nature of how I learned things. And how I'm slow at the beginning because I need to assimilate a ton of information. And then after a while, once I start understanding things, I tend to speed up a bit. But I was realizing that my weakness with drawing was very much in construction. So I can get my ideas down well. But when I move from, okay, I got my ideas down, and now I have to make it look good. And actually get things proportionate and pay attention to a lot of these things. I slow down a lot, and it takes me a while to go from just the raw energy of the pose into something that actually looks coherent and correct and just all that stuff. I'm gonna hide this hair clip as well. Where are you, hair clip? There you are. And I have been wanting to understand why. And I think I now understand the problem. And it's that because I think about things in terms of just raw energy, my sketches are perhaps a bit chaotic. Just a bit, you know? And after a while, I kind of have to take it from my personal well of intuitive knowledge and just what I happen to, like, feel. Like, I feel the pose. I feel it in my heart, man. And I have to bring it into something that looks convincing enough that people can say, ah, yes, that person is doing that. Even if the pose is, like, not necessarily physically possible, I don't actually think it's that important for poses to be physically possible. But, it should look convincing enough that I can fool people into thinking that it's physically possible. And it's the transition from just the raw energy from within my brain onto the page into something that I can actually show other people and have them be able to make sense of it. The transition from those two states is the hard part for me. And that is the part that I would like to speed up. And unfortunately, I just have not found methods that necessarily work. And then the other hard part, that there's a second piece to it. I am perhaps a little bit of a perfectionist. Perhaps. And that definitely slows me down a lot. That definitely slows me down a lot. So I'm working on that a little bit too. I already know that anything that I try to draw fast will not be as lovely and rendered and smoothed out as, you know, even the little thing I'm doing now. In fact, you know, I probably should, on these characters' designs, practice it a little bit more where I just leave things rough. Get them just smooth enough that they're understood, as opposed to just going through and just being like, ah, yes. I want the curve of this hair to be, like, perfect. But, that'll be some practice for another day. I am very clearly not doing that here. I might do it for the next one, though. Because I do think that it is something I need to be able to do if I want to meet my current art goals, which are largely in more the comic and animation sphere of things. I have done some experimental animation now. Not something I'm willing to show on the internet, but I know I can do it. Now I just gotta get good. And I would like to get good. So I am working on it. But I just swear, if I can find how to transition from the raw energy into something comprehensible, where, you know, I don't have to say, don't worry, this looks much better in my head, don't worry about it, for as long as I currently do. Then, you know, I think I will be able to do some very cool things. And I am pretty excited about it. So just give me a bit of time. And I will find something that works. Because it's been so funny to me. I've been trying to follow the exercises in some of these... I guess you could call them tutorial series that I've been watching. And I find them very easy. So it's clear to me that the knowledge is there. And I can do the sketches where I just get my ideas down. Like, that is fine. Where none of these things matter. And I don't have to care about proportion or anything like that. Like, at that point, I do fine. But once I have to actually start paying attention to the proportion, to the things just besides raw energy, well, things get a little bit slower. And I kind of have to step back and figure it all out. I've been thinking about this a lot because while I was working on that illustration of Rooney Ruse on stream, when was that? Wednesday? Yes, Wednesday. I'll be working on that again tomorrow, of course. That, I was a little bit sad that the little bit of practice that I did to try to speed things up and the methods that I wanted to try didn't work out quite as well as I was hoping. So, that is why I've been thinking about these things hard. It's okay, that's... I think that's what it means to practice. Realize your deficiencies, get really mad at it, and then get good. I actually think that getting really mad at it is a very important step. Yes. Dude, art is hard. It is so hard, man. And it's okay. It's nice to go back to basics and then realize I know more than I think I do. It's like, no, I got the basics. I gotta figure it out. And life is hard. And I think part of me was also really, really sad about how things were going. Because for a long time, I actually was pretty happy with my art skill. That's why I was comfortable drawing stuff on stream. And I went from, okay, I can do just about everything I want if given enough time, to I can do literally nothing anymore. Because half of my goals revolve around going fast. I want to do comics and animation, and you cannot draw slow and do those things. You will die. You will die in real life. I do not want to spend 10 years on one animation or one comic. That sounds awful. So, I gotta go fast. There's no way around it. I gotta figure out how to go fast. Alright, how do I shade this? I mean, the good news is that it's working. I just have more work to do. So, that's why, you know, I have no doubt that I'll get there, but man, is it annoying! I just want to get out of this point where basically all the creative things that I want to do right now, that's, you know, my drawing, my animation, and my writing ability are all at the point where I cannot really do what I want to do. And so I just feel like I suck at everything, and it is a terrible feeling. It's like I don't actually think I suck at everything. But it feels that way. Feels that way in my heart. And I just look forward to the day that I no longer really feel like that. I don't like that. We'll do it like this. Just make this look a little bit more hair-like. Alright. I don't think I'm gonna go hard on making the hair super nice or anything here. I just want to make it clear that this is hair, and it is very, very, very swirly. That's one of those things where, you know, exactly what I was just talking about, where I gotta rein in the perfectionist tendencies, because otherwise I will work on something forever. And I don't think that the exact strands of the hair here are important for this drawing specifically. So I'm only gonna do a little bit. But I do want to make it nice and swirly. Gotta make it nice and round. Very important. Everything must be round. I think that's probably sufficient for that here, honestly. Alright, let's go do the front. The same thing for the front. And make that look nice. Once again, not gonna do that much. I'm just not entirely happy with how it looks yet. Thank you. Yes, I wanted to incorporate a little bit of a very adorable Shiba Inu tail. So, this is entirely based on the tail. And the best part of Shiba Inu tails is just that they're so curly. Every time one of my neighbors has one, and I swear every time I see that dog, I just want to flick its tail and watch the tail spring back, and it's so cute. So I wanted to have that feeling. We're just, yeah, you want to mess with the cute little curls. I think that is fine. Let's do the next one. Oh, I don't have the layer lock, do I? Okay, in that case, I will fix this blurry part. And a little bit more right there. Okay. Now we just add in some strands. It'll be fine. That's fine. Okay, I'm not making myself get rid of all my perfectionism. But I will try to avoid getting too fixated on things. I know my nature very well. And if I let myself, I will just stare at hair for all eternity. Yeah. Still got a very itchy nose for some reason. I swear, every time I come on camera, my nose just decides, okay, I'm gonna be very itchy now. And it keeps happening. Alright, let's see. Yeah. I think I'm doing about all I want with the hair here, so just gotta get the the last layer in soon. Don't worry, I did. It just keeps happening, and I keep wondering why. I swear it has to do something with some kind of harmonic resonance within my face when I start talking. It's like when I'm just sitting here, I don't have this problem. So I'm guessing something vibrates in my head when I start talking, and it makes my nose itchy. Something like that. That's pretty good. That looks pretty hair-like to me. Okay, I'm gonna call that good. And this is a very, very light white hair, so I'm not gonna bother with highlights. Ordinarily, I would, but this is less of an illustration and more of like a concept sketch that I am just way over-rendering, so I'm not gonna worry about it. But even white hair can get some nice highlights if you put some shadows underneath those highlights. Okay, and I've been using my darkest hair color for all of this, and I still might, but I'll go ahead and just smooth out the edges with this one. That's always the first thing I like to do, just go in, get rid of all the blurriness here. Hey, look how blurry this is compared to this. It just needs a little bit of tracing, and then it'll be fine. That is just from me moving stuff around a bit. That is why at the beginning of the stream I checked to make sure I liked where everything was before I jumped into rendering this. Because if I had to change some stuff around, then it would be too soon to render. If I rendered it and then had to move it all around again, well, it would just get blurry and I'd have to go and render it again. So it would be incredibly silly. No need to do it like that. I just want to get those curves super curvy. Make her hair look super petable. very important. Do I have the wrong colors here? I probably grabbed a wrong color at some point, but it looks like I have the right ones now, so that's fine. Okay. I want to separate this hair from the middle group just a little bit here, so I'm going to put a dark shadow underneath here. Thank you. I like purple. So that's why I tend to use it for my shading. It makes me very happy. Alright, this one will get a little bit thinner. This is a pretty thin strand. I'll clean that up in a second. I kind of want to get the rest of the lights and shadows on here, as well as how I'm going to clean all this up. Get the shapes of those curls just right. And then I will worry about smoothing it all out. But first, I just gotta know where these things are. Where I'm putting them. Gotta go ahead and... I'll put the shadows back. That part is going to be shadowed. I just wanted to see a little bit more clearly against these colors down here. They were blending in a bit. That'll be something I have to watch out for when I go and render the rest of this, but for now, this is fine. All right. And then I can make this. No, you know what? I don't think I need to do that here. I think I can just use this one. I hadn't been doing it on the rest, but I think for this one, it's actually okay. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna go grab the one on this side now. Let's see, how should you be curling, friend? I'm not actually sure. I have flailed at this part for a while now. And I came to being relatively satisfied with this shape. But I'm still not actually sure if it's entirely correct. But I guess it doesn't look terrible, so I'll keep it. Just gotta perfect the little curl. The cute little curl. Gotta get that just right. It's not curling quite the way that I want. There we go. That's a little better. I flattened it a bit too much. Okay, that should be fine. Let's go ahead and fix its lights. So once again, we're seeing this one largely from the side. So I'll go ahead and put that in. And I'm just realizing I'm gonna go hide the back hair for now. Because I want to make sure that this hair kind of covers most of the side of her face here. There we go. There we go. Then just curl off the end and all should be well. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Back to what I was doing. So you see most of the side, and you can see I'm trying to follow the shape that I have out here. So that this way it looks nice and curly. Okay. So that should be good there, and now, yeah, I'll start getting the rest of the shadows in here. I think there'll be a little one at the bottom here. And I'll put a little bit on the side to kind of let it recede into the distance. And then this looks smooth enough to me, so I'm just going to start putting in the little strandy bits. Keeping it simple. And I think that mostly looks fine. I just want to curl this a little bit more. The curve must be curved. And it must curve just right. I'm going to make this part a little bit shorter. I don't like it when the shadows are like all the same width or the same length. I think it makes the hair look a little bit monotonous and less soft. So I try to vary their width and length quite a lot. So this one's going to be thicker and this one will be nice and thin. All right. Now I just got to do the same thing over here. And so this shadow, I have apparently decided that the strand coming off is in front of the rest of this. So this shadow here is going to be defining the edge of this little strand coming off. And I could have done it either way. I don't think it matters that much. But I have picked this option, so there we go. I will render it as such. Okay. And I just want to get this nice and smooth. I think this is the last thing I've really got to do for the hair. And then I can move on to all the... Oh yeah, that's right. I also have a bit on the top of the head. I'll get that too. But yeah, once I get that, I can move on to all the little hair decorations. I think there's really only one. I just put in the, like, singular hair clip. How long have I been using Krita? A very long time. Let me think. When did I actually make the switch? So when I started digital art, I started in Photoshop. But at some point, I started making a point of using free and open source software. This was before Adobe Creative Cloud. So... I don't know. I want to say at least 5 years. Probably a little bit more than that. But somewhere around there. I don't think it's that complicated. I mean, all I really do is I go in, I grab my hard round brush, and then I draw things. I basically don't... The main brushes I use, I mean, right now I'm sitting on top of them, but, Basic 5, size. Airbrush soft. Basic 2, opacity. Covers probably 95% of my brush use. So that would be if I just walk over here a little bit. That'll be that guy. So this guy here, and this guy here. And then I guess this eraser. And sometimes I will turn the airbrush soft into an eraser by hitting this button. Up there. Just to be clear, I'll go put my head on it. right up there. Click that button here. You'll turn things into an eraser. And I find turning airbrush soft into an eraser to be a very effective soft eraser, so I like to use that one. Covers about 95% of what I do. Save for some weird specialized stuff I do for certain things. Krita does have liquefy. It is in your transform menu, so if you hit Control T, then right click. You cannot see the menu that comes up, but liquefy is one of the options. So yeah, you can just bring up the transform tool, right click anywhere, and then you'll get your liquefy. I use it a lot. I'm trying to think of other tools I use on a regular basis. I don't use selections very often myself, but I do occasionally. And I feel like their selection tools are pretty straightforward. About the only special thing that I do with selection sometimes is I'll go in and like edit stroke to put a stroke around it. And then I do use that right-click menu for transforms a lot. I tend to really only use liquefy and mesh for the most part. I do use perspective sometimes. And of course free for just basic rotation and resizing and whatnot. I don't use the other two as much. I guess cage would be what you'd use to basically be the equivalent of warp in Photoshop. Good for like putting decals on round surfaces and stuff. But I find that mesh actually does it better. Yeah, even just looking over at things to the side, I don't use a lot of things very much. And I don't do line art, so I haven't messed around with the stabilizer tools or anything very much. I keep meaning to, but then I forget. There we go. That's a bit better. Alright, let's just get this looking hair-like, and then I will draw a little hairpin. And that'll be about all I do for hair here. Okay. Yeah, and I think that's all good. So I think that'll be it for hair. Let's go invert the colors on her face. So, no more negative face. But I'll even give her her eyes back because I am feeling generous. Alright, I need to do the top of her head too. That's pretty easy. I do think I want the dark color though, so I will do that first. And then just gently draw across the head there. Looking a little bit round. Let's flatten just a touch there. There we go. See a little bit of the head layer peeking through. Don't need that. Definitely don't need that. I actually feel like there should be a little bit less of the head peeking through there. Just because... like, she's looking back very slightly. I find inverting the colors sometimes lets me see things a little bit more clearly, and since her hair is a very, very light color and her skin tone is also very light, the colors were kind of blending in with each other. And I didn't feel like figuring out the colors for the face until I had the hair done, so I just inverted the colors. And now I can invert them back whenever I feel like it. So I just hit Control-I to invert the colors. Okay, I do not have a shadow shape for you yet. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I do. So let's get one, because I'm gonna want one now. I like mixing the colors directly. It makes me happy. So, there we go. Alright. So, as with all the little wing patterns I'm using throughout the design, they are based on Koromaru's cute little wings on his backpack there. It's very cute. Alright. So I will be modeling the shape based on that too. So I want this first part. You know what? I'm just gonna redraw the whole thing. That'll make this easier. So then I can just make this first part a perfect circle. And I think I want it to be partially covered by the bangs now that I think about it. I think that will be very cute. So I'll move it down there. There we go. Maybe not that much. Okay. So there. And then... hide the bangs for a moment so this way I can get the shape accurate. I want it to... let's see, her head is tilted this way, so the hairpin will be tilted slightly that way too. Let me look at the wings one more time. So they are round and then they go out. Okay. No, I think the from a mostly profile view is correct. Just got to get that initial shape good. Okay, and how does the bottom work? Okay. I'm kind of turning it in my head, and I think it makes this kind of shape. All right. And now, I will go ahead and put the basic shadows in before I perfect the shape here. And you will find that I invert the colors often to make things easier to see, because, well, I like making my life easy when I can. No reason to make things more complicated than they have to be. And the next little wing. And the last one right there. Okay. And now I can really zoom in and make sure that I am cutting this accurately here. So that this way, they feel a little bit more wing-like. Because the wings do not actually touch. It's just easier to draw it as one shape first. And then I can cut it out from there and perfect the shape of each little wing. Find the spots where they attach, find the spots where they detach, and just draw the gaps accordingly. Okay, and that is fine. Okay. And I want to make it look a little bit shiny. So I will add in a nice little highlight too. Screen is probably too strong. I will still do overlay, and there we go. I will just draw a little highlight across, little kind of metallic shimmer there, and little bit of light coming across the top here. Okay, and that should be good. Go ahead and correct the shadow. Okay, and now I can draw the little blue gem. Once again, I do not think I have a shadow color for this. Let me double check this little button here. Okay. I just want the proportion to be about the same there. Okay. Lop the shadow on it. And that's about it, really. I could do a bunch of things to make this look a little bit more gem-like if I wanted, but you know, it's just a basic concept sketch, so I don't want to go too hard on these things. Okay. That, I believe, is sufficient, and most of it is in shadow anyway. You know, I should have turned the hair back on before I started shading this. Oh well, it's okay. Okay. And now the hair needs a little bit more shadows. Since the hairpin does kind of sit on it. Just enough to give it a little bit of presence here. Separate it from the hair as well, since the colors are a little bit similar. Okay, there we go. Got a cute little hairpin. So now I guess I get the rest of her face. Alright, sounds good to me. I will smooth out her head. And this is I can't talk. This is a place where I am going to trust that my past self did good work here. And I'm not going to change the shape of it too much. I just want to get rid of all the blurry edges and whatnot. And now I'm going to get all the shadows from like the hair and stuff in. This is one where even though it's not strictly accurate, I will be using my shadows around the hair. So that this way we can clearly see which parts are hair and which parts are skin. So normally I'd put these shadows a little further away. And they certainly wouldn't go all the way around. But I find the clarity to be more important than the accuracy. So I do it like this. Because let's be real, when you're drawing an anime, you can do pretty much anything you want and it'll work out. Anime is very forgiving like that. Okay. Go around those nice little curls, and I will still make it thicker at the bottom. Give it a little bit of weight here. Okay. Get the side of the chin in there. And there we go. I think this is probably fine. Just gotta smooth out some things here and there. Okay. So now I can get the face. I think that the shape of her nose is pretty good, so I'm just gonna kind of clean up the edge and call it good. Make it a little bit rounder because Koromaru's nose is a little bit round. Okay, and I don't want you to be that color. Let me see, what color do I want you to be? This is where I press Control U to bring up hue saturation, and I just... Something pink sounds nice. It's got to change the color of the nose too, but it's temporary, so it's all good. I'll switch it back once I pick a color I like. That looks pretty good. I just don't like putting the nose and the mouth on different layers. There's no real reason. It just means that there's less layers to scroll through, and that's always nice. I find too many layers to be a little bit unwieldy myself. So it's just a matter of personal preference. Back when I was a baby artist, I actually drew pretty much entirely on one layer, so I found layers pretty hard to manage. But now I use them a lot, because I just find it easier to change things when you use layers properly. And it allows me to kind of embrace chaos in the beginning. And just get the energy of the pose down as quickly as possible. Alright. Adjusting a couple of proportional issues here. It's fine. Seems okay. Let's go. So, now I guess it is finally time to do the eyes. So my eye shape, little invented here. I'm trying to kind of match this, where everything is very pointy. It's like a diamond. So she's gonna have kind of diamond-shaped eyes. And while I get started, I actually do think I will hide her hair for a second here. So we're gonna go back into bulb mode for a little while. Once again, just making things easier to see. So I'm gonna have those nice diamond-shaped eyes there. And I am mostly just kind of cleaning up the shape here, and I will probably just put some eyelashes on while the hair is hidden, but I'm not gonna fully render it all until the hair is back on. There's not much point. Most of it's gonna be covered by hair, so I don't want to spend a bunch of time rendering stuff that is not even gonna be seen. That sounds like work. Okay, there we go. Got some eyes. They are such a nice little simple shape. I want to make this a little bit softer, but otherwise it seems fine. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it just needed a little bit of cleaning. What was there before was, you know, just from the very beginning, when I was getting the raw energy of everything down. I just needed to know where the eyes were going to go in their rough shape. And that was it. It just wasn't important to make this look like this yet. Can't get stuck on the details in the beginning. All you'll do is slow yourself down. I would know. I have had an obsession with speed for a little while now. Man, she looks so mischievous like this. But let's try to make her look a little bit more cute here. I want to make this eye look a little bit less slanted. There we go. How often do I draw? I draw every day. I would say I draw almost every day. I do skip the occasional day, but yes, I do draw every day. And as for drawing live, I draw live 5 days a week and play a game 2 days of the week. So yes, I will be here every day if you'd ever like to watch more drawing. I do like drawing. It is a lot of fun. So it's been very easy for me to get the motivation to do it lately. Wasn't always the case. When I was younger, I had a lot more trouble. But then I just decided, you know what, I want to do it. And I started with only drawing for like 10 minutes or so every day, and now I can do 3-hour live streams no problem. You just gotta work your way up. And it does take time. It is hard at the beginning. Okay, there we go. I think that sums up that shape there. Trying to make sure I keep the, like, highest and lowest point of the eye in roughly the same places. Her head is, like, tilted a little bit. So, I think that this one is actually a little bit further back. Yeah, there we go. That's a little better. Unfortunately, Liquify makes things all blurry again, so I kind of have to smooth it out again after, but it's fine. I can do that. I can do that. It's no problem at all. Okay, so I'm just looking back over here and making sure that I got everything that I want over there. And yeah, I think that's about right. I probably should tilt this up just a touch more. The shape at the bottom is more extreme than what I'm used to. So I'm trying to make sure that I get it right. Okay. Just want to make sure that they match. Okay, and I think that's fine, so let's go ahead and start putting some eyelashes on her. Not really going to render them at this point, but I do like making them big and fluffy. Love me some fluffy eyelashes. One of those things that just makes me very happy. So I always draw a lot because I like to. And I'm just kind of making sure that I get their general shape right. I will be rendering them out after I put the hair back on. But I like to draw them with the hair off, because then I know that they're all in, like, the right place. And I can't really know that if I draw it with the hair on. So it makes them just a little bit more accurate. A little bit nicer. Okay. This side is facing to the side, so I get to go even more overboard. Let's go. Assuming my pen cooperates. I don't know why it's doing that sometimes. There we go. There we go. Oh yeah, so fluffy. I'm very happy. I told you that the fluffy eyelashes just make me so happy. I do feel like art should just make you happy. That's probably good then. Alright, let's turn our hair back on. And then I can render all this out and actually color it. I like to do the initial drawing in black because it's easy to see. But that's never how it ends. I always use a dark color from the hair. That is my personal taste. Or if I feel like it blends in a little bit too much, a color that is slightly darker than the hair. And I do think I want this to be slightly darker than the hair. I don't like that one. Something like that's a little better. Maybe again. No. Less purple. Yeah, somewhere around there seems okay. And then I can add in a few little highlights just to make things look nicer. Since I draw my eyelashes so ridiculously huge, it just looks flat and a little boring if I don't add in a few details. Admittedly, my eyelashes are another thing that I would like to work on. They're just not quite where I want them to be yet, but that is an exercise for a different picture, I think. Okay. The reason I say it's an exercise for a different picture is just because this is more of a concept piece. This probably doesn't even need to be fully rendered. But I'm doing it anyway because I want to. Alright, time for some negative eyes here while I fill in where the eye white should be. So she's gonna look evil for a moment, but it's fine. The combination with the red eyes really does make this look even more evil than usual. But I just want to make sure I'm placing it right against her skin. And you know what? Since I'm already using about the same color for her hair, I will just use the same shadow color there. Seems good to me. Alright. I feel like the eyes are a little bit blurry. So I'm gonna go ahead and click around them there. There, it did make the irises a little bit bigger, but I think that is okay. Her forehead, I'm realizing, is quite large, isn't it? I don't know. How do I feel about her face? I'm gonna stare at it for a second just to see if I want to change anything. I think it's probably fine. I think the bangs are actually just making her forehead look a little bit bigger than it should, and I think I can actually fix that. If I just add a little bit of visible hairline right here. Kind of where things are coming out. What are you? Oh, I see. I just noticed that there was a gap in the head here. Probably shouldn't have that. Alright. Let's finish off those eyes. So things are gonna look a little freaky for a second, but it's fine. It'll get better. So let's pick a pupil color here. This is a solid shadow color, I think. That is a solid pupil color. Okay, so she's looking kind of right at us in this eye. And a little off to the side in that one. So that should do it. No, not quite. Gonna switch back and forth here just to check it. The direction the character is looking is super important. So, worth taking an extra moment to just check and make sure everything is okay. And now we can make her look a little bit less possessed. Get all the actual shadows in there. And this tells me that I do not have the shadow up there sufficient. Same with here. I'll put in a little bit more. The shadow on the eye and the eye white should match mostly. Okay. And I'm not quite satisfied with the depth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my airbrush, take the pupil color, and just lightly brush in just a little bit at the top here. I don't use very many gradients in this style, but the eyes are one place where I will do whatever it takes to make it look nice. Okay. Now we make things shiny. I'm gonna keep things pretty simple. I'm just gonna draw a little U shape in here. And then I'm gonna break it up a little bit with the eraser. And then I will change the color. I just made a layer, put it on... Actually, I think I'll put it on Addition. And then use the eye color. Half the time I don't have to change it. A lot of the time I do. It's fine. But this is something that lets me get started really fast. So I just like to do that. Okay. And now I think I'll make it a little bit more yellow. Or is yellow here? Yeah. Okay. That seems fine. And then the part that'll actually make everything look good. A specular highlight. Let's see, what kind of specular does Koromaru have? Round? Sounds good to me. This is not light enough. For some reason, I didn't have it as light as I could make it. And I like having just like a touch of yellow or orange in there as a personal taste thing. I want to make it a little bit more yellow, I think. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna make it shine. Another place where I do use just a little bit of blurriness in order to make things look a little bit nicer. Okay, her eyes are red, so I will have this little part going around be a little bit green. Makes the specular stand out a bit more. There we go, and now it's nice and shiny. Okay. And there we go, I think that is about the face. I'm gonna give her some blush. But I think that's about it. I still feel like her face might be a little bit long. I'm gonna stare at this for a second. Yeah, I think it might be. So before I add the blush, I'm just gonna take all of this and move it down just a little bit. And I'm gonna move the nose down. And then everything else just a little bit more, which does mean I will have to redo the shading on the face a little, but it's fine. It's worth it for the sake of a cute face. Face is way too important to mess around with. Okay. Huh. How did I not notice that before? Well, these things happen sometimes. The way it was overlapping before, I guess, just hid how wrong certain parts looked. Okay. But I will say that that is a much cuter face, so very worth. The neck is super thick now, but I can fix that in just a second. Okay. Let's fix the shading on the head. Oh, I have my airbrush right now. Oh yeah, that is so much cuter. Holy cow. Okay, I'm glad I did it. Sometimes I underestimate just how much facial proportions change things. And you know what? I guess I will turn this quick eyebrow layer that I had back on. Where did I put you? I was thinking about putting them on top of the hair. I don't think I want to. So I will group them together with the eyes, and I just want to make sure that they're placed correctly and see if they will actually be showing. I don't think they will. I think it's going to be completely covered by the hair. Confirmed. Okay. Not going to worry about eyebrows then. Alright, let's get these shadows back on. Fortunately, it looks like a lot of them kind of ended up at the same place, so that's nice. A little bit less work for me. But this is what I was mentioning earlier, where, you know, you gotta check to make sure everything is actually where you want it to be before you start rendering, because otherwise you have to do silly things like this. Or even though I've already done this once, I have to do it again because I messed it up. But it's okay. It's better to fix it than to leave it messed up, especially on the head. Faces are very important. They are undoubtedly the most important part of any drawing involving a person. I'd go as far as to say is that if the face looks bad, the entire drawing will look bad no matter how good everything else is. A little scary sometimes. I feel like I missed a spot. Somewhere in there. There we go. Okay. Now we can give her the blush. So I just pick a nice hot pink. The hottest pink imaginable. With a little bit of red in it. And I just use the airbrush to lightly dot the cheeks here. Let her blood be flowing through her face there. A little bit on the nose, too. I don't go very hard. I don't want her nose to be super rosy. And then I put a little bit on the chin and the forehead. And then if the character's not supposed to be blushing, I just like to add a little highlight here. If the character is supposed to be blushing, I'll draw some lines. And on the mouth here, I actually feel like it's a little bit wide on one side. Oops, I accidentally grabbed the nose in my selection. Don't want that. Nose looks fine. I just feel like the mouth is a little bit wide. There we go. And that is a pretty cute little face. So I am satisfied. All right. Fortunately, now her head is a little bit small, but fortunately, when it comes to proportion, they're all about how the relationships between each object or each piece. And if the head is a little bit small, I can offset it by making the body a little bit smaller. So all is well. I do not have to use transform tools on my cute face. And risk messing it all up. So I want to make sure that this neck is drawn correctly here. It's a little hard to see with the hair, but I don't think I'm going to be able to draw it without the hair showing. So I'm just going to do my best. Okay. You see a little bit of the underside of her chin here, so I'm just going to give a little bit of extra neck here where it kind of sticks out, connects in with the chin. Okay, and that looks much better. Let's put those headphones on. And I do believe that it is actually time to get the shape of the headphones. The way I like to work is I start with whatever is on top, basically. So the hair is the highest point here. I guess this hairpin is also a pretty high point. And then I render the things underneath it. This way I know where things are, kinda. And I know which things are on top of the other things. So I don't worry about rendering things that are going to be covered up. Alright, I'm going to get this wrapped around her neck here. But you notice I did the neck first this time. And that's because the headphones are both in front of and behind her neck. So I need to know where the neck sits in order to know where these headphones are going to be sitting. And which parts I need to cut off. So that this way, the parts that her neck is in front of will show. Feet are falling asleep. Let me get comfortable here. Phew. The joy of having been drawn for, what, 90 minutes now? After a while, my feet start falling asleep. So before, I was pretty lazy about how this was shaped, but now I need to actually make sure that I can see how these headphones will be sitting. So I'm going to be switching between the kind of strap layer and the cups that go over the ears. Because I think knowing where those cups are will help me with the perspective here. So I think one's probably going to sit like right about there. I'm going to compare it to where her ears would be. Make sure that I have it a good size, something that could conceivably fit over her ears. So maybe something like that. There is something... a little speck of pixel dirt there. Okay, it's coming from the hair. Just some excess that from when I was feeling out the shapes. Okay, and the other one I think will sit about here. And this one is tilted away from us. So it won't be quite as circular as this one that is facing directly at us. I'm even gonna do it like this, so this way I can see where the tilt of all this is. This one won't get it at all because it's facing away. And in fact, because it's facing away, I think it actually does something a little bit more like this. And I can see that the backpack straps that I have on another layer is interfering right now, so I'm going to go hide that layer until I am ready to handle it. Okay, so I think that's how the cups of the headphones will work. Where we have the one pointed towards us, and then this one further away is more of a sliver. Okay, now I want both colors of the headphone here. So that this way I can kind of feel out the general form of this. Feel out how this will be wrapping around her neck. Where does it become shadow and all that good stuff? Now I have the headphone cup sitting on top. So anytime I want to alter the angle of all this, I gotta go to that layer. And I think the cups are going to be just a little bit larger than the part connecting to them. I think that's kind of how my headphones are. They're just very, very slightly larger because they're soft. And they kind of expand a little bit. Okay. And then there'll probably be some padding under here somewhere. I will draw that a little bit later. I just want to get the shape of this correct first. But at the very least, they're coming out now. I can see it. This side's a little small compared to the other side, and I think the other side looks pretty good. So I'm grouping them together so this way I can very easily transform them at the same time. I got a bad selection there. Let me get a better one. Because I forgot that. I have the part in the back drawn too. So I will be a little bit more precise through there. The bottom, however, I can be as imprecise as I want. And I'm paying attention to the tilt of her angle of her shoulders here. So while her head was tilting this way, her shoulders are tilting this way. So, excuse me. This headphone cup should be a little bit higher, I think. And now that I look at it, I think this one should be a little bit lower. Hold on, I got something in my throat here. One moment, please. I think I'm over the cold I had, but the phlegm has not yet left me. So it might be a little bit before that all gets better. That tends to be how these things work. Drives me nuts. Alright, so I'm just gonna go back to just, you know, putting this in place. And once I'm happy with how everything is tilted, I can go back and render it properly. I just needed enough information down to get started. And now I have that. So I can position it all correctly and just finish it off. No problem. I'm actually gonna zoom out and check this. Does this look like it could actually fit on her ear? I don't think so, so... Oop. They're a little bit big, though. Is this really how big headphones normally are? Let me look in the mirror real quick. I'm gonna put my headphones on my shoulders. Headphones are big, man. Easy to underestimate these things. It's actually not that inaccurate. The biggest thing I think I need to change is just here. Make the inner part a bit larger. Yeah, I think it looks okay too, but you know, I gotta check these things. Just be aware of how everything's working together. That's why I have a mirror at my desk, and I actually have a standing mirror behind it. So I can even get up and do poses if I want. I do occasionally. More so off-stream than on, because getting up with all my equipment on me is annoying. But it is very useful to have. Okay, I think I want the strap part to be a little bit thinner. Let's see, how roughly should these connect here? A little bit higher, I think. Yes, right about there. And then it kinda will take my shadow color again and let it wrap around here. It's like we don't see it, but it is there. This also tells me I should make this part a little thinner. But yeah, moral of the story, headphones are big. It can be easy to forget how big they are when they become an extension of your body. I spend enough time at my computer that it feels that way sometimes. I'm just gonna put this whole area in shadow, make my life a little bit easier, and I will wrap that around. And I don't feel like it's quite sitting flat yet, so I'm gonna shave a little bit off the top here. Adjust that part accordingly, and yeah, there we go. I think that's sitting a little bit flatter now. Okay. Thank you. I was hoping so. Look. He just looks so fluffy. Look at him. He looks so fluffy and pettable. I had to carry over the same energy. Okay, now we round things out here. I'll probably put some kind of decoration on these. I feel like it needs like a logo or something here. I don't know what I want that to be yet, so I'm not going to worry about it, but I will be thinking about it. I will be thinking about it. If I get a good idea by the time I finish this, then, you know, I'll put it on, but if I don't, I will move on and worry about it later. I don't think I really need to get stuck here. Okay, now I feel like I can actually start shading that part a little. They look pretty round. Let's see. I'm gonna take a look at my headphones again. And see how they generally look. I feel like these ones might be a little bit too round, but it does match the shape of, like, the thing around his neck there, so I'll probably still keep it. And I guess I can use these for the details there, actually. Yeah, that's exactly what I should do. I am overcomplicating this. Let's do it. Okay. First, I'm gonna get the cups right. So we'll get everything else down perfectly. And then I'll go in and finish off the rest of the structure. I feel like this is a little bit thick, actually. I do want it to be flat across the bottom like that. That I do believe is correct. And I'm not actually going to worry about getting this curve perfect because I want them to look soft and flexible. And I think the best way to do that is to put in some kind of squishy shading. I think it'll make more sense once I actually start doing it. But I think part of making them look squishy is not giving it a perfect geometric shape and letting it be a little bit flexible around. So I actually don't want this curve to be perfectly round. All right. Oh wait, no, I still have to get this side. Kind of the same over here. I'm gonna let it stick out a little bit in a few places. And then this part, we see a little tiny sliver of the backside there, so I'm gonna go put that in. Okay. Now we make it squishy. So you can see I'm making it a little bit irregular there. Still very much following the form of it all, but just letting a few little spots kind of stick out there, and that generally makes things a little bit squishier looking. And a few of them I'm even going to join all the way across. And we'll put a little bit of shading from the hair here. Okay, so same on this side. Make it just a touch squishy. This side not going to get very much shading. Actually, no, it's the top side that shouldn't get very much shading. There we go. This side can get a little bit. Okay. This I want to keep pretty round, but just not perfect. And once again, I can put in a few folds just here and there. They can't go all the way across, they don't have to. Just wherever I think it looks good. I'm not thinking that hard about it. But I do believe that this is all I really have to do to make it look soft and flexible and headphone cup-like. Okay, and I think that's fine. All right. Now then, I can worry about the details. Got the basics in. Let's see. How do I want to draw this? It's like if I use the cups as the gem here, I'd want to draw this backwards. And I think that's the way to go. It's like I was thinking of, do I want to have like another gem out here? But no, I think it makes sense for the cups to be the gem here. So I want little metal bits kind of going into it. So that would be like... It'll look a little weird at first. But I'll get it there. So it'll be like this. And then I should clean that up a little. Make them look just a little bit more metallic. And perfect that shape. I think I want it to be a little bit bigger right there. Just a little bit. Then I'll square it off. This part does not have to look organic. It does not. So there we go. And then there's like tiny little screws in there. So let's just go ahead, add little dark spots. With a little light spot on top of them. Okie dokie. And then from there, there's a circle kind of going around. So what I want to do is make sure that it goes through each of these kind of screw areas properly. So I'm going to draw those in first, and then I'll connect it. So I don't have it drawn like perfectly round. And that's fine. I don't think it has to be completely perfect. Okay. From there, we got another layer. This one I'll try to keep a little bit more round and a little bit more accurate. Ah, the good old lines. They never leave me. Okay, and I'm gonna let the light kind of cut into this a little bit to make it clear that it's going all the way around. But I'm only gonna go far on the top side here. The other side will be a little bit more shallow. Okay. Next, we have this connecting piece kind of going around. So, I guess that'll be where the headphone kind of connects to everything else. So, rather than have a shadow right there, what I want to do is... I'm just going to stare at this one more time. We let this kind of come out like this. And then go in and around through here. And it'll kind of connect at the bottom or something. And I'll have this kind of shape. It's gotta, I need to figure it out, so I'll leave it sketchy for now. Wrap around the side like that. I'll draw this entire part in shadow and then add the light part that wraps. Okay. So far, so good. And now I'll start cleaning it up a little. Get those shapes the way I want it to be. And let it just kind of attach here and wrap. So something kind of like this. I think I had that sticking out a little bit too far, but it's fine. Okay, what's going on here? It kind of splits in half. So I could do something like let it connect over here completely. Try to get this a little bit more symmetrical. Then split it in half. And let it wrap around like it's two pieces. Even though that doesn't really make sense for headphones, it's fine. This is a character design, I can do what I want. And there we go. I'm just gonna merge these two layers together now. I had what I was doing for the details on a separate layer. I don't... Just while I was figuring it out, but now I think I've mostly got it figured out, so it's all good. Let me see, how should this wrap? If this is the middle... This is the middle. then this should come out that. And on this side, it should come out like this. I'll go ahead and put in the shadows from the hair real quick. I don't mind that it means that some of this is going to get lost. That I actually think generally looks good when you do it right. I just had to know where those details were in order to draw everything else. So they were temporary, and I knew that they were going to be temporary. So I'll draw a little light cutting in there again. This side will be little, this side will be a little bit bigger. Okay, then I want this to come off and come back. There. There. That kind of shape. Round it out. Perfect. I think I am quite happy. Hello there, Caravid. Yes. I am doing a character design based off of Koromaru. And so far I've got everything designed, so now I'm just drawing things out. Just finished off the design for some headphones based off of Koromaru's Evoker. Yeah, because they when I thought about what would go on that spot if he were human, well, headphones made sense to me. So I rolled with it. Oh, congrats. I know that they can be pretty hard to do. Aw, I like making them. I think they're fun. So off, just making things look a little bit more metallic here. And I think that's probably fine. Okay, there we go. And yeah, it no longer looks so lonely. So I think that works. Okay. So next, I guess, is going to be this little cardigan. And that's going to be an adventure. I'm not sure if I feel like doing it today. Just one of those things. Do I feel like doing hands instead? No. So I guess I'll go ahead and kind of do her dress. I think I can just do that. I won't... Like, most of this is going to be covered up, so I'm not going to worry too much about all this. I just want to make sure that I kind of have it cut properly. And let's see, if I'm declaring this her waist... No, it should... It's higher. Okay. So if I'm declaring that her waist, then this should come down here and not go out until there. Letting that be the thinnest point of her body. Okay, and I'll just clean out all of this extra that's sticking out. I still have a red dot here. Probably from what I was experimenting with, do I want any red on her lower body? And then eventually said, no, I don't. I think all this is shaped fine, so I'm just gonna kind of hammer out the curves here. This is too curved. Do I even have a leg showing properly in there? Mostly. I can use it for a little bit of help. Cutting out of shape noises. Alright. I kind of wanted to line up with her leg there. I might need to just move the entire leg over, honestly. You know what? If I'm going to do it like that, let me draw this curve that the way I think it should be, and then I will move the legs accordingly. I think that makes more sense than moving the legs first. But yes, this kind of shape looks much better. There we go, and then I'll just push this leg to be up against that. This leg is supposed to be sticking out anyway, so they probably were a little bit too close together to begin with. Okay. Nice and smooth. Oh, yeah. Nice and smooth. Okay. As always with the longer parts, it takes me a second to get it smoothed to my liking. I guess for things to do when I'm trying to draw fast. Not worrying so much about it. Would probably be a big one. Oh, I have gray, not white. Okay, there we go. Whoops. I had the wrong color there. Okay, and I think her backside here looks pretty okay. Let's go ahead and pull this out. Just gonna keep it pretty straight. And once again, I can just kind of adjust her legs accordingly here. And I'm not really worried about the shading right now. I'm gonna change how much of this darker shadow is going to be showing once it is time. But it is not yet time. Not yet. First, I just gotta get everything smooth. It is what it is. Perfectionism is hard. Okay, but this is pretty okay. Just kind of buffering out the last little valleys in there that I don't think there should be. And now everything is pretty smooth. Okay, and I'll fill in the rest of those little gaps. And then I can smooth out the bottom. The bottom, a little bit more straightforward. Able to do that in one stroke. Oh. Oh man. I don't mind that curving in a little bit. I just wanted to stick out just a little bit more. How's the shape? Seems fine. Alright. So now I'm gonna go put her legs in place and I will move her feet after. So this leg will kind of hang out right there. Get rid of the excess here, and then this leg will go hang out over here. I'm leaving a little bit of a gap between the dress and the leg, just so it doesn't look quite so paper thin. I actually think even this is a little bit too much of a gap, just because I want the dress to be made out of a nice, soft, thin material. So there won't be a big gap, but there will be a little bit of one. Let's see, where's that foot going? Right about there, I think. And then I will double check her stance and make sure it's still looking all right. Oh no, this foot comes a little bit higher. There we go. Now she looks like she's standing on the ground. Stance looks fine to me. All right. There we go. Let me see. How should this belt be turning? Because when I think about how her body is turning, basically I see this upper torso kind of tilting upward here, but her hips kind of tilting downward. So if I were to describe that in boxes, it would be like this. The chest is doing this. We see the bottom and this side. And I can even, like, box it up. And then the hips are tilting a little bit more like this, where we see the top in this side. And it makes a nice little round spot here, little crunch point here, and does something kind of like that. So yeah, that's kind of the shape I'm going for there. But it does leave the question of how do I tilt the belt? Because normally if you're tilting things upward, I'd want the belt to be going, you know, that way. Actually, I guess if I put my shape back, I'd want it to be going that way. But with the way the hips are going, I'd want it to be going that way. That's my conundrum. But I do think that with my silly doodle here, that way looked better. So I'll go with that. But yeah, that curvature that I was talking about has to do with how things turn in space based on how everything else is turning. And generally, if things are tilting like back, so you see the bottom, anything on top of it will curl away from you. And if you're seeing the top, so, you know, it's all going down, it'll curve the other way. So I just wanted to think about that real quick. And then, of course, her hips are slanted this way, so I actually need to turn the entire belt just this direction. Get that pinch in there properly. Okay, now I'm just gonna shape it a little. It's not an extreme tilt, so I don't think I need it to curve that much. This is even probably a little bit too curved. But I do want to get just a slight curve in there. All right. So something like that. And this belt is pretty tight. So there we go. And I'm not even going to smooth it right now. I will go ahead and put some preliminary shadows on there because it makes me happy. But it doesn't really serve much purpose if I'm being honest. Because it's going to be covered up by this cute little cardigan. And the reason I wanted to do the belt there is because a small portion of the belt is supposed to be showing underneath it here. From where the buttons open. And I can't do that unless I know where it is. So I needed to kind of define that. And I think that thickness is fine. I will... I won't smooth it, but I will make sure that the curve is correct. Just so I have a good idea of where it will be showing when the time comes. And you can see here that I think it is still a little bit too curved. So I'm kind of pulling that back a little bit. Okay, there we go. And it's fine that it's a little blobby for now. Alright. And I'm not gonna shade her chest properly. I think this is fine. I guess I will... Well, no, I don't really want to shade the dress yet either. I want to shade the dress when I have the cardigan done. I know the cardigan is the next thing I need to do. I just don't want to. Not right now. My brain is a little bit sleepy because I did so many things today. Dude, so much practice happened this morning and it was fantastic. But now my brain is sleepy, so it just kind of wants to do some easier things right now. So I'll just go ahead and do this part, I guess. I'm trying to keep it a consistent width all the way across. That is pretty dang close, so I'll call that good. And I kind of wanted these little things to follow the direction of the dress. So it'll be getting pulled back over there. I have that a little bit too slanted. Oh yeah, it'll be getting pulled back over there. And then gradually kind of come forward. So I think that is reasonably accurate. It is a little thick though. It might take me a couple of tries to get the width consistent. Or I guess the length here. Okay, that seems pretty good. All right. So there's that. I guess I'll put the coat back on here. Let's see. Thinking. Okay, I can at least hide the details and the buttons and work a little bit on the silhouette there. It's just it's gonna have this knit pattern on it and I don't want to draw it. I don't want to draw it right now. I don't want to think about how that's gonna wrap around her arms and the rest of the form. Help. Okay, but it's fine. I'll get the silhouette. We'll get rid of all the little knit pattern that I have so far. And I will draw that on another layer. And we'll just focus on getting the silhouette here. I'm gonna turn off this bracelet. And it'll be fine. I am gonna invert the color too, so this way I can see just a little bit more clearly. Okay. So basically, I wanted to have this be a little bit of a V-neck collar, since that's what we got going on here. I guess here it's a little bit more round, but I don't care. In the shape here, it is a V. If it was actually on him, it'd probably be round. But I get to make it a V, and a V looks better here, so I get to do what I want. Okay, so I'll have it open up like right around there. A little bit above the waist. Okay, this is going right up against her side there. Which is what I want, so that is correct. Then I'll just let it come out like this. Put in a little fold here because I like doing that. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. So 100% just kind of focusing on the outline, the most basic of the lights and shadows. And I'll get the rest later. And here I want to make sure that the center line is roughly where it should be. I think it needs to be a little bit further to the left there, so I'm actually going to do that via liquefy here. Okay. And then I think on a separate layer... Yeah, on a separate layer, I'll go ahead and draw the back, but I'm not going to do that yet. I have the colors inverted right now, and I don't feel like re-inverting them, so I'll just grab the color once I have it actually, like, down here. So I think that this side will be coming this way. Is that right? And then the other side will go that way. Let me just check this. That looks correct to my eyes. What about this way? Does that look correct to my eyes? No. So yes. This means that I was indeed correct, and this part will come down. And then the part going around her backside will be going up. So we're not going to see very much of it. The only reason we see any of it at all is just because there is a tiny gap on this side between her, the side of her dress and the jacket here. Okay, I need this color for a second so this way I can define where the chest is, and hopefully all of that stops bothering me. Okay. Because I don't actually have this sleeve on a separate layer or anything. Alright, just gonna fill in all the gaps here. I'm not really worried about the lighting yet. Let it kind of hang off her shoulder a little. Let's see, on the side here, it's still a little bit blobby. So I'll go ahead and kind of correct that. I actually kind of like this blob, so I'm gonna keep it and just emphasize it a little bit more. That was a case of my arm had a good idea, so I was like, you know what, arm? That's a fantastic idea. Let's do it. So I did it. Okay. I could tell that we're getting near the end here because I swear I get less and less coherent the further on in the stream I am. Okay. But, you know, it's fine. Today was a rendering day, so I got to be a little bit sleepy, and it worked out. I did so much practice this morning, so it was nice just to have something kind of easy to do. My brain, it hurts so much. It's okay, though. It's a good pain. It is the pain that tells me I have accomplished something today. Okay, there we go. Let's get those sleeves now. I want them to be loose, so I'm going to be adding a bunch of little folds, especially around the wrist. Turn on lower the opacity here, so this way I kind of know where the wrist is. I don't actually have the hands drawn yet. I have a thumb sticking out here. That's what that dark spot is. And that will be covering up the jacket here, so I will probably have to draw the hands before I can really draw the whole thing. That's okay. I'll get it started today. And I will draw the hands next time. That will probably be the first thing I do next time, actually. And I want to give it just like the slightest hint of a cuff. And this part will be on the back. Once I decide to draw that layer. Okay, then over here. Oh, I do not have the right color. I think I have this arm a little bit too thick to begin with, so I will use this as a very, very loose guideline. And I will just plop some folds where I think they look nice. Wherever that might be. Wherever that might be. And I'll be very, very careful around the chest. Because I want to keep this arm separated from her chest. Very clearly and deliberately. You can see me here deciding the width of the wrist there. And so I think something like that will look pretty okay. This side is maybe a little wrinkly. Actually, I think it is. I want a couple more straights in there. Let it hang off her shoulder a little. Okay, that one's kind of necessary though, so I guess I'll leave that one like that. Okay, and then I can adjust the arm accordingly, but I'll go ahead and put my colors back for now. Okay. Let's erase some of the excess around the arm. Get a little wrist going in there, and I will worry about the hands and stuff next time. For now, let's get the backside of this coat. Not super noticeable there, but it will be over here, so this side is the important side. And there we go. Okay. Oh yeah, and back here. So from about this corner up there. Huzzah. I haven't decided if I'm going to give it some kind of belt yet or not. I probably won't. I'm not sure if this shape makes sense if there is no belt, but sacrifices must be made for a nice silhouette, so I don't mind. Let's see, is there anything else I feel like doing? I guess I'll go ahead and turn on some of my layers here. Yeah, all of this is completely wrong now, so I'll just leave all that hidden for the time being. Okay. Let's see. I guess I'll do the back of the hair real quick. Just because I do feel like there are a few little curly strands that kind of go around here. I just wanted it to be a little bit more bob-like. I'm not... How do I draw this? Art is hard. Okay, that seems fine. And I'll put a little bit more over here, I guess. I think it should actually go behind the backpack wings. Give it just a little bit more volume here. Does it need anything over there? I guess that works. I'm gonna make it a little thicker. No, I think it looks better without it, actually. I think it needs something, it's just not that. Okay, there we go. Let me just round that out a bit. Make it smooth as always. Add a couple of loose strands just to make it look a little bit more hair-like. Right now I'm not sure if it reads as hair necessarily. I think this side does. Okay. There we go. Alright, so that's, like, her head done. And the dress, I mean, the dress isn't shaded, but the shape is done. I think the overall shape of the coat looks pretty good. I guess I'll put in the basic shadows here, just because they're not that hard. And we'll put some stuff there. This will kind of wrap like this. And like I said, I'm just kind of locking in the basics. I'm not going to do anything too complicated here. Oh man, it looks so fluffy already though. I'm happy. Fluffy it is. Love making things fluffy. This is about where her chest is, so there'll be a shadow there. I don't think I have it shaped right, but I can fix that. Let's see, it's going out like this. A little bit low. I should fix that. It's a shame that I didn't notice until after I had all this blocked in, but it's fine. I guess we're making the legs a little bit long again. Which I think is also fine, honestly. I think that's a little bit too high. Pull it back down just a touch. I have to remember that this is the underside, not the middle. And that's what the shadow there does. It shows the underside, not the middle. Just making sure that I like this change. I do. Okay. So we're good. I will just have to smooth it out a bit next time. That's fine. We'll get the chest all in there, and I'll put in some folds kind of around the armpit, since this is a very, very loose jacket thing. And this part is going to be kind of coming up here and doing a thing like this. This is like roughly where the center is. And then the buttons will go down the side there. I'm not going to worry about buttons right now. I don't think I need to. Put in a few folds there, and I want to lighten up over here just a touch. I feel like this part is going a little far back. So I will adjust the dress and body showing there accordingly. I always feel like I make right here a little bit too thick, and I don't know why. But it always seems like it happens. And I assume that other layer is backpack straps. Okay. That does look better. Okay, but I think that's a pretty good shape. And I think the shadows are in good spots. I guess I'll put some shadows on her body real quick, and then I think I will call that good for today. Just one on her chest there. Yeah. Alright, I think she is looking extremely cute. And now that I have her face done, I actually kind of like looking at it. Until now, I didn't. But now I do. Because now, I've got that cute little face just staring right back at me. And all my worries go away. So, I'm a fan. And I'm glad that I was able to incorporate the dog ears somehow, because I wasn't sure how to do that, but I think it worked. It's a little exaggerated, but I think it worked. Alright, so I am happy. Actually, hold on. I need to separate her hair strands a little bit. Okay, so I was about to say, you know, I'm wrapping up and stuff, but I didn't fix this when I changed her hair a little. There. Those strands must be separated. And the same thing happened over here. We must separate them. They are not allowed to sit together. It is forbidden. Maybe it's rude to say, but no, it is forbidden. I will not allow it. Okay, and over here's a little blobby. Let's fix that. Over here's a little blobby, so let's fix that. Okay. There we go, and now her hair reads so much more cloud-like when you zoom out, because there is separation between those strands. Yay! So, all is well. But really, I do think I will stop here for today. I am glad that she is officially adorable. I was worried for a little bit. I was like, oh no, did I mess things up? But, you know, sometimes you just gotta trust the process. Phew. Alright. Well, thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.